Hello and welcome to Cracked Open, a podcast guiding you on your journey to becoming a vessel of unconditional love. And this is your host, Beck Milonis, High Priestess, Channel, and Activator. Join me on this series as I share reflections, insights, and channel transmissions from my journey of walking the initiation path. Each episode is a unique transmission containing supportive frequencies to facilitate the deepest healing, activation, and reconnection with your soul. I invite you to open your mind and set the intention to receive this episode into your heart space. Let's go. Welcome back, beautiful souls, to another episode of Cracked Open, a podcast about becoming a vessel of unconditional love. Jumping on with another quick one today because I want to talk about something I've seen showing up, and it was a really big recognition for me this morning. And I was like, fuck, I would really love to share this because I think it will support a lot of you with your co-creation process, with, what you're here to do, with your mission, with your purpose, with all of it. And so today I want to talk about the assumption that many of us have, which is very misleading. It's very incorrect. It's very untrue, that we believe or we project onto God, the universe, what we expect humans, people to be like, right? So we project onto God, onto the universe, onto our reality, an expectation that God is conditional, right? That in order to have things work out for us, in order to receive, in order to be successful, in order to fulfill our mission, in order to create our desires, we need to interact with God in the way that we would basically one of the people that was our primary caregivers or those who taught us about love growing up, right? So how to begin this today? I think what I want to say is many of us were not taught what unconditional love is, right? Many humans do not have the framework of understanding of actually what unconditional love is and what it means to be truly unconditionally loving, right? And so we have this expectation that because perhaps, like, say, when you were younger, you had parents that only rewarded you when you did things that were perceived to be good, when you did good things. They punished you when you did something that was considered to be bad, when you misbehaved. You were only celebrated when you were achieving something. You were only told off when you weren't achieving something. So you were only receiving recognition or praise when you were doing things in the 3D world that could be classed as success. So you got a good mark at school, you received some kind of reward or recognition, you did well at something, you succeeded, right? And that's when we get the praise. Oh, you were a good girl, you did the good thing. So therefore I'm going to go buy you this present, I'm going to buy you this gift, therefore I'm going to express my love towards you, I'm going to be proud of you, I'm going to give you what you desire, right? Yet when we were doing something which was bad or naughty, we were chucking a tantrum, we were, we didn't show up to school, we wagged school, we did whatever it was, right, that made us, we were emotional, we had an outburst, we were doing things that were considered not good. And then the reaction that was had towards us was one of punishment. So we were punished in some way. We were told, now you don't get to have your phone for the rest of the week. Now you're grounded. I'm going to withhold my love from you. I'm going to take my love back, right? And this, in a way, is how many of our parents tried to discipline us, right? And I'm not saying that how we were brought up was wrong. I'm just saying that they had this framework of trying to raise children when maybe they didn't have parents that were unconditionally loving and didn't show them unconditional love, when they didn't have a framework of understanding, right? So they were just trying to discipline us in whatever way they could, that they knew how it was best. And they were trying to set us up to live and succeed and thrive in a world which is very like results based. So I do this thing, I put hard work in, I make the effort, I show up every day consistently, and there's a result from that, right? And so we're conditioned to believe that the universe is the same way, that God is the same way towards us, that only if we're good all the time, we tick all the fucking boxes, we do our manifestation ritual 50 times a week, we release with the full moon, and we have our crystals, and we pray, we meditate, We're showing up in service every day. We're doing everything right. We're putting in that time, that effort, that devotion to our mission, where, I don't know, like offering our services every day, whatever it is that we're doing. Then as a result of that, we will receive support. We will receive praise. We will receive recognition. We will receive love. We will receive abundance, right? And so we're equating, I take a specific action and therefore then I get the result, which is God's love, God's approval, God's thing, right? And we think that God is up there judging us all based on our merit, on our worth, based on how much work we're putting in. So it's like this programming of, if I'm a good girl and I behave and I do all the things I'm supposed to do, then I'm worthy, right? We also believe that we have to work really fucking hard at our path, at our mission as a result. So we think we need to earn it through suffering. I can only be this spiritual teacher or this healer or this priestess or this shaman or this psychic or whatever it is, right? Even if you're not here to help people, I can only have whatever it is that I desire to have if I earn it, right? If I earn it through the initiations that I go through, if I earn it through me fucking showing up and getting blood, sweat, and tears and putting all of my energy behind something all the time. If I was to lean back and rest, this is following on from my last episode, if you heard it, guys, about that difference between pushing and forcing and having discipline. Like there's a difference. So listen to that episode and then come back here and listen to this one. But we think like, if I'm doing all these things and then I stop, then I'm not going to call in the clients. Or if I stop, then God's not going to notice, and support me. If I don't take action for a while, I'm not supported. If I'm not showing up as a good girl, if I'm in an emotional fucking wreck and chaos and I'm processing some stuff for a couple of weeks, that means my money's going to stop coming in, right? This is what I've seen playing out for me of like why I was so hesitant to stop, because I was like, fuck, if I'm not like putting stuff out all the time and I'm not constantly working and I'm not in this discipline, now that I know that I need to have discipline, if I'm not doing that, if I'm not a good girl, if I'm not performing, then God's going to take it away. I'm going to be punished, right? I'm going to lose the momentum that I built. Again, I already spoke about this, so I won't go into it. It's just like a deeper unfolding of what I've seen playing out underneath that. And that it's that like God is judging us, that God's up there being like, well, this week, this week you didn't spend 5 hours a day writing content. This week you didn't put out whatever it was. This week you didn't meditate every day and focus on what you want to call in and attract. This week you didn't say thank you and you didn't do your gratitudes list, right? You didn't do your practices. And so therefore I'm going to put a mark against your name and you don't get to have the thing this week, right? I'm taking that off you. The love is conditional. You see that? You see the energy of that? It's like God is up there being like, I am judging whether or not you're going to have my love and support. And you're only going to receive my love and support if you're doing all the right things, if you're doing what you think that I need you to be doing. The truth is, guys, we are not separate from God. So any way that God is interacting with us, or our perceived way in which we're receiving or seeing the universe. So if we believe God is punishing us, if we believe that, this is me, right? I'm having my ass handed to me with all these initiations because that's what I need to be prepared, because that's the way that it is, because that's the way this path goes, because God has told me that, right? That's a projection. No version of God ever came to me and said, well, I mean, I did receive the message of like, you're being prepared for your mission. There's some things you need to release and I'm helping you to release that. But it wasn't this energy of like, if you don't go through this, if you don't suffer, if you don't struggle, if you don't fucking have to go through the hardship and come out the other side, then you're not worthy of doing this, right? It's us that decide our worth. It's us that decides our worth. And when we decide our worth, that's when everything around us reflects that, right? Like I said, God is only going to show up and treat you. The universe is only going to show up and treat you how you believe the universe will show up and treat you, right? So if you believe that you're living in this conditional universe where only if I'm a good girl, only if I work really hard, only if I do all the right things, only if I'm a good person, only if I'm in the right energy, I'm aligned, I'm joyful, I'm in a high vibe, is all the shit going to come in? What if we could decide that no matter what, God is unconditionally loving, because God is us and there is a part of us that is unconditionally loving, and we choose to unconditionally love ourselves, and no matter what state we are in, trusting that that's exactly where we need to be, and trusting that if we're being guided to step back and take a rest, it's not because we're being punished. It's not because we're being told, you go sit in the naughty corner because now you're not worthy of the shit, because you're not, whatever, you're in a bad mood. Now you need to like go on a timeout. It's not that. It's that perhaps actually it's saying, hey, slow down. Slow down. You're going to burn yourself out. Take some rest, take some space, take some time for yourself, fill up your cup, right? All the things that I said last time. And that we're projecting something onto a being of benevolent love who is also us, right? So here's something else I'm going to say. I do believe that there is a God, like external, there's one creator or source, but I also believe that we are that creator and we are that source. So in essence, we are God, right? Let that sink in. You are God. So who is judging you then? If, say, this is an example, you take a moment to like stop because you're processing some stuff and you take a step back, and then suddenly the money stops coming in. Suddenly the likes aren't going on your post. Suddenly there's no forward momentum. Who was it then that decided that because you weren't taking action all the time, the momentum wasn't there? Who was it that told you things aren't okay? All of a sudden things have stopped and you're not in the same upswing. Things aren't still working out. Like now you're fucked, right? Who told you that? If you were the creator, was it something outside of you that's telling you that is focusing on that in your reality, or is it you, right? And so there is only a perceived reality based on what we're choosing to see. So if you are, say you've just taken a break, right, for some reason, because you are in a negative headspace and you don't have the energy to do stuff, which has been me. I wouldn't say that I've been in a negative headspace, but stuff has been coming up for me to sit with. And I've been really tired. And so, of course, then from that state of being, I'm looking out and everything has slowed down for me. Everything has come to a halt for a moment. So I can take that time to drop into myself, to breathe, to relax, to have a moment, to recharge my energy. And then if I'm looking around and being like, fuck, all that momentum that I built is gone, I'm expecting to see, less people interacting with my content. I'm expecting to see less cool shit showing up. I'm expecting that this month I'm not going to make as much money as last month because this month I'm not in this high energy of like go, go, go all the time. Who is putting that belief on me, right? Who is giving me that reality? Is it something external to me, or is it what I'm choosing to focus on and choosing to believe in this moment? It's the second one, guys. Spoiler alert, it's the second one. It's me choosing to focus on that reality. It's me based on my beliefs of God being conditional, because I'm just projecting my only experience of the divine masculine, my father, like trying to make him proud of me. And the only way that he would say that he was proud of me is if I was ticking all the boxes of what he kind of perceives to be what's the word? Acceptable or reputable or the right way to do things, or this is a worthy career path, right? Like my dad and I have had our shit because he's very set in his ways and in his beliefs. And I see that now. And I'm like, you're never gonna, I mean, I don't want to say never, but maybe he'll never accept what I do fully. Like he supports me, but maybe he'll never turn around and say, go to Mexico and do a conference of ufology. I fully support you guys. We had this huge argument last week. I told my parents I was going to Mexico. My mom was super supportive. In fact, she said to me, you need to do this. I feel like you have to do this. I'm fully supporting you. And I was sitting down with my sister and my dad at dinner because we were talking about maybe they're going to the States around the same time. And so we were talking about maybe me meeting them there. And I'd said to him, because I know that he worries about me when I go overseas, particularly somewhere like Mexico, which can be a bit dodgy. I'm aware of that. I said, look, if you want to come to my, I've got to go to Mexico City. So maybe I come meet you guys. Then maybe all together we go to my retreat, my conference, and you can come see what I do and you can come to the conference. Immediately he was like, what conference? I don't believe that, my sister, by the way, is going to the States with my dad because she has a conference, but she's an academic, right? So in his framework, that is a real career path. That's a legit reason to go overseas. That's a legit conference. But with me, because it's so unfamiliar and it's something that he doesn't know, he has a hard time. Like he's very suspicious. He's like, there's no such thing. You're just going over there to meet a man. Like, fair enough. I have done stuff like that in the past. So, fair enough. But he's like, who's putting this thing on? Where is it? Like, I don't believe, right? Not very supportive, not really willing to listen, not really willing to come and escort me there. even though the only reason I was inviting him was to make him feel at ease of like, hey, you can come with me and see what I'm doing because I know you're probably freaking out about me traveling. And he had this tantrum, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll go on my own. Like, it's fine. It's okay. And at the end, I had to, like, when he calmed down and I calmed down, my sister left, I had to be like, look, I really don't appreciate you negating my whole existence and everything that I do. And you've just done it again. And it doesn't feel very good that this is my career path and you're flat out negating my work. Right. And he was like, I'm sorry. And now we're talking about potentially moving forward with that all in a way which is productive. The point that I was trying to get at was that consistently since I was a kid, the way that my dad would um, give me praise or recognition, there was always a lot of pressure on me to be successful based on his framework. So do good at school, be an academic like my sister, go to a nice school, study at university, whatever it was. And so I have programmed in my mind that there are certain conditions in ways I have to behave or things that I have to do in order to receive love. And part of that is this hard working. I need to work my ass off, right? And he was also a migrant, right? Who built his own business and did all this stuff. So there's also that conditioning that many of us have of that migrant mentality of a need to work fucking hard and earn it, right? Who here, I mean, many of us have parents who had to work their asses off to be where they're at, right? So of course, we're coded with this belief of I need to hustle, I need to work hard, I need to try, right? In order to succeed. But the truth is, God doesn't see all of that. The universe doesn't see all of that. The universe is saying, hey, how about you take a minute, take some time to yourself, and I'm going to look after things for you in the background while you're resting. The momentum won't stop. Like things are still going to be building momentum in the background. I'm still going to be creating the connection points, lining up the next fucking thing for you, lining up the opportunities, bringing in the clients, whatever it is. Just because you're not showing up constantly taking action doesn't mean that I'm going to just abandon you, right? I'm going to just forget about you and leave you on your own because you need to take a minute, right? Because you need to take some time off because whatever fucking reason, you are not doing the thing that you feel like you have to do, right? What if you didn't have to do anything to be worthy of abundance? What if I didn't have to do anything this month and made double the income that I've been making, right? What if I didn't have to show up and work my fucking ass to the ground every day? And of course, like showing up when it feels good and I feel aligned is completely different to that. And it's still, I'm not negating taking action and being committed because that's so fucking important. I've been talking about that a lot on here. But there's a point where that reverts to that old template of unworthiness, right? Of believing that we need God's forgiveness because we are inherently bad. Of if I don't show up and I'm not a good girl, I'm not going to get my gift. If I don't do all the right things, I'm not going to call in my manifestation. If I don't have XYZ, then I can't be happy, guys. It's all from within us first, right? So like literally you could do nothing for the rest of your life and you could like bomb at your mission and decide to not do anything and not show up and not take action, not serve the people you came here to serve, and God would still love you. That pressure that you're creating from within of like, I need to do this now. This needs to succeed now. It needs to be bigger than this now. I need to be further along now is actually just really unnecessary stress that you're putting on yourself when every moment that is unfolding is perfect. And there is perfection in every single moment, and you are fine exactly where you are. And it's perfect. Like you cannot fuck it up. And I've said this already. But us putting this pressure on ourselves is because we believe, right, that the universe is unkind, that God doesn't have our best interests at heart, that God is like us in that it's judging us based on merit, based on worth, dependent on what action we're taking, what we're doing. Like God doesn't judge anyone or anything. Everything and everyone is perfect to God because God created it, all of it, right? The creator does not judge its creations based on their worth because of what they're doing. If that was the case, then God would look at a rock and be like, Well, that rock is sitting there, not doing anything for days on end. Therefore, it's not worthy of my love, and that creation is not perfect, right? Do you think a tree sits there day after day saying, I'm so fucking unworthy because I'm not moving, because I'm not doing stuff, because I'm not what I have to earn the sunshine that brings me the energy that I need to photosynthesize and keep living and existing, right? Do you think it sits there being like, if I don't know what trees would do to take action, but if I don't do X, Y, Z, the rain will not come and nurture me. So I keep growing. No, it just keeps growing. It just keeps existing in that moment. It keeps being what it's here to be. And the same is us. It's the same with us. We can't expect ourselves to be only receiving support and love and nourishment and protection and our desires when we're not taking action, when we're not doing things. Like right now, exactly as you are worthy of everything that you desire. Let that sink in for you for 1 second. Like literally right now, as you are perfect. You are perfect. There is nothing wrong with you. You don't need to heal more. You don't need to be anyone more than what you are to fulfill your destiny. Exactly where you are right now, you are fulfilling your destiny just by being here. And so anything that you create outside of just existing is a bonus, right? If you have, for instance, it creates a lot of pressure for me all the time. I talk about it on here a lot. I create rather a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself because I know I have this big mission here to fulfill. And I'm so afraid that I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. Whoa, I'm not worthy of it. Like, I will never live up to that. I will never. What if I don't live up to that? What if I fail? Right? There is no failure. Like, literally, me being here and existing is me fulfilling my mission. All the cool shit that I think is part of my mission that I'm here to create, which by the way, it is because I'm a creator. So if I have that download and that thought, it's something that I desire to experience. So I'm going to fucking make it happen. Right? I wouldn't have that desire if I didn't, as a soul, want to make that happen or learn through trying to make that happen. Um, I that stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I never reach anyone. It doesn't matter if no one hears this fucking podcast. It doesn't matter if at the end of the day I'm 80 or I'm 90 or I die tomorrow and all of this was for nothing because I didn't succeed in what I thought I came here to achieve. All of that stuff is just my soul saying, hey, I'm going to have fun and create some experiences and see what I can do in this lifetime. That there is no like, you need to do this. And if you don't do it and you fuck up, you're going to get punished. There is none of that. We have limitless lifetimes. I know it feels like this is the crunch one, got some shit to do, there's some pressure, but we're creating that pressure on ourselves because it's actually so much more simple. Like the pressure that we think that we're getting to like be here and move through our shit and do this and do that, actually what they're our guides, our soul team, the light beings, God, whatever it is, who feels like we feel like they're pushing us, all they're pushing us to is be more love. So releasing stuff. So that perceived pressure of that thing that you're trying to move towards is actually that thing that's creating the pressure that helps you to come back to love. And the coming back to love is the only fucking part of the journey that matters. Whether or not you're famous on Instagram or reach a billion people or stand on stages and talk, any of the shit that I feel like is here for me in this lifetime, it's not fucking necessary or relevant to me coming here and fulfilling my mission. I get to choose my mission. I get to choose, hey, wouldn't it be cool to create that? I'm going to push myself as a soul because I think it's really interesting. How interesting would it be if I created that? It'll be really exciting. And I would love the experience of like talking to hundreds and thousands of people on a stage because that's what I find exciting right now. And this, like, that's what I'm driven to. I have this ability, I have this voice. Fuck it. Let's go. Right. That's the attitude that we need to start coming at our desires towards, not like, fuck, been doing this for 4 years. It's taking so long. I feel like a failure. Like, why am I not further along? It's like, it's a game, it's an experience. There is no rush to get anywhere because where you're getting is just a vehicle for you to get to the real thing, which is your evolution, your growth, your coming back to love. And so this whole process for me has been like, oh, fuck, I've gotten too attached. And now I'm feeling deep unworthiness and all this stuff is coming up and I'm feeling frustrated because I'm not further ahead, to then come back and realize, oh, it's because part of me was clinging to that, or part of me was putting my worth in something external to me, or part of me is reacting to my external environment. And every time I let go, it's like I come back to love, and then it gets to be even more amazing. And then there's a new level. And then, oh, I've done it again. And it's a cycle, right? So why not, instead of beating ourselves up when we come back to that point of like, oh, I fucking forgot that none of this really matters. And I'm being really hard on myself for no fucking reason, right? Instead of beating ourselves up and being like, shit, I'm here again, being like, well, this time I returned back to love a lot quicker and realize what I was doing a lot quicker. I'm able to catch myself out a lot quicker. I'm able to recognize where I'm projecting shit onto God. I'm projecting shit onto my environment. I'm looking at my reality and realizing, fuck, I created that again from this place of unworthiness. And that unworthiness is still within me. And maybe I'll always be grappling with that unworthiness, but it's okay. It's okay for me to be imperfect. It's okay for me to not be as far along as I think I need to be, right? Like literally my only job is to be here and exist and find joy in that, in this moment. So today, guys, what I've been doing, and it's been really fun. Actually, last night I tried to go to sleep. I was exhausted all day. And then I got the zoomies, like when a dog gets the zoomies at like 10, 11, I was running around the house like a maniac. My mom was like, fuck, this bitch is bipolar for sure. And then I lay down in bed, and all these ideas were coming through of like stupid reels and content pieces and things to create. And so it's like 2:14. I spent the first 2 hours of my day from 8 till 10 meditating. And then I just spent time for however 4 hours now, just creating stupid shit for fun, right? Just because it's fun. Like, what lights you up in this moment around your purpose or your mission? And you just want to create it just because it's fun, just because it's enjoyable, just because that feels like something that you want to do right now, right? Can we take some of the pressure off what we're here to do by just enjoying what feels good, what brings us joy, what brings us lightness, what brings us humor, what helps us to deal with being here in this human body, right? I realized this morning, like, stop taking it all so fucking seriously. It's a game. It's, if this was a projection of my internal reality, couldn't I choose to be peaceful? Couldn't I choose to just be however I was and be like, well, today's iteration of Beck is moody with a chance of clouds, right? Whatever it is, right? Can I just accept that that's how my human wants to be today? And that's okay. That doesn't make me unworthy. It doesn't make me unlovable. It doesn't mean that I've fucked up my mission or that I'm going to get punished because I'm having a bad day or because I don't want to be productive or because my period's coming and I just want to chill, right? None of this stuff is going to take you off the path. None of this stuff is going to mean that you can't have what you want because you're not worthy of it. It's us who get to decide how God, how the universe responds to us. And so if you're in an experience where it feels like you're being tested or things are being taken from you or you're being punished or you're frustrated because things aren't moving along, that's an invitation for you to look at, well, what am I projecting onto the universe? Am I projecting that if only if I'm totally healed, can I have success? Am I projecting that everyone around me is going to hurt me and I can't trust anyone? Am I projecting that if I don't do XYZ every single day, day in, day out, and I'm not fucking perfect, then I don't get to have the things that I want? I don't get to be happy, right? That is my message for today. Let me know if this resonates, guys. And please leave me a comment on Apple Podcasts if this podcast is helping you and supporting you to grow and become a vessel of unconditional love. If you are interested in getting a soul mission reading from me, they've been really fun to do. And I love doing, and that's another thing, right? Like before I leave, I was thinking about what got me into that energy of burnout. And I was doing like a shit ton of readings and I really fucking enjoy them. And part of me was like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed and I'm so busy right now. And then I thought about like, but don't you love doing them? Don't you enjoy doing these readings? Does that not bring you joy, right? Yeah, of course it does. So why would they have to stop? Why couldn't I just create better boundaries for myself around my time and only open up X amount of space and just give myself adequate, self-care? It's not like that needs to get taken off me now and I need to be punished with not doing readings because I'm a bad girl. Like, no, it's not that. It's just like, I love doing this thing. It brings me joy. So why wouldn't I keep doing it? So having said that, if you haven't had a soul mission reading with me, do go check it out on my website. I'll put the link below as well to book that in. They are amazing. I get to tell you about your soul blueprint, your mission, your purpose, if you're struggling to connect to that, and what it is that you are here to bring through in this lifetime, and any blockages that may be keeping you stuck at the moment. So that is my message for today, guys. I love you. Go and love up on yourselves. Remind yourselves that you're so fucking worthy, exactly as you are. And if you could do something to express your love to yourself today, just for the pure joy of I want to do this and it will feel good for me to do it, what would that be? That's what I'm leaving you with today. All right. I'll see you next time, beautiful souls. Thank you for listening to another episode of Cracked Open. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share with a friend if this episode has served you in any way. For more information about the work that I do or to get in touch with me, read the show notes or head to beckmylotus.com. Until next time, beautiful soul.